Aloha. Today I wanted to share a quick video with an idea that I had from a dream that I just had. And I want to keep it quick because hopefully if this is something that you think is worth sharing, you would share it. And I know people would watch shorter videos more than they would watch longer videos. So I'll try to keep it as short as possible and focus on the information itself, the dream, without having to expand on it so much. So if this is your first video on my channel, and some of the things that I'm mentioning here seem kind of like I'm just glazing over stuff, I'm not, because if it seems that I glazed over it, it's because I've mentioned it in other videos. So I'll mention it real quick and then kind of just get to the idea or the ideas. The dream was, I had woken up. I was in a community college, and my teacher was in some kind of meeting, and the meeting was actually an ongoing voting process on something to do with cannabis. And I'll mention cannabis in the next video. Somebody asked about me not smoking for this past like almost a year now, and how it affected my dreams. So I'll mention that in another video, like how that affected me in my dreams. This is also a part of that too, but I'll go into depths later. Anyway, so he was doing some kind of vote, and it was all the teachers and all the people in like the community, and just like people who wanted to be watching that. And then we were like in the students, we were just like students, and he kept coming back and forth because it was like a really big, I guess you can relate it to like a bill or something that was being passed. And anyway, but it wasn't like a voting process at all. And everybody was like, and that was the main thing, that was realized about that, is because everybody was excited about it. So anyway, I had a whole bunch of dreams after that, but I want to focus on this. So he kept running back and forth and updating us, and then running back and checking it and coming back and updating us. So anyway, that happened. Then I woke up, and then I started to think about like the power system as we see it today. And the stuff that I've been mentioning has really been circling around the time stealing that happens, and the control of itself in the legislature, and the so-called powers that be, the individuals, the politicians who are making these moves for us. So we already know it's not for us. This system is dead. This system is rotten. You can see this. This is garbage. This is fast food for your pineal gland. This is fast food for your mind. This is fast food for your generations. This is fast food for the future. This is how the so-called powers that be slow and steal time. And they put this fake version of evolution in front of you, like the Young Turks, and the alternative news, and so-called conspiracy theorists like Alex Jones, to make you think that the system itself is changing and can change for the better, when in fact it's not at all designed like that, and never was designed like that. This is pure garbage to maintain slaves and slave masters. And the only way they can do it is just like Hollywood makes celebrities. Like, why certain people are celebrities? Like, why would you think, like, why these empty individuals, and I don't name any names, but you know those types of celebrities. You're like, why is that person famous? Like, why is that individual even on television? It's because they represent a vibration that the so-called powers that be want to have people acting and wanting to be like. This is an entire mind control program. So the only way that we can get out of this mind control program is if we completely remove this mind control program and everything that's connected to it. There is no way that this can be fixed, because it was never designed. Why would you want to fix something that was never designed for you in the first place? This system is still full of so-called white supremacists. The same slave mentality that led up to, they're still worshiping your so-called forefathers. They still worship the fiat currency system. It's worshiping slavery as a whole. This is garbage. I don't give a fuck what these celebrities are saying and doing in reference to your whatever. They don't care about you. If they got millions and billions of dollars, like this system, the proof is just with their selection. It's throwing it in your face when you realize that Donald Trump is now the president, or the president-elect, or even if that could even happen. Like this system, it's a mind control program to play with your frequencies. And you have even your entertainment, like Saturday Night Live. That's not for your entertainment. It might have started out by that, to be for your entertainment, but it's not for your entertainment now. It's to convince you to act a certain way. You can easily see the gay agenda in Saturday Night Live. You can easily see how they make you believe in politics, and it's to build up the mind control program itself. And that's just one example. This is just garbage. All of this, every single last piece of this, is to distract you. Especially when you realize the potential with this energy, like the reach of YouTube. Tens of millions, hundreds of millions of people, possibly worldwide, billions of people who have at ever one time logged on to a YouTube and seen a YouTube video. Like billions and billions of views, and it's being utilized to poison your present moment, your past, and your future generations. And this trending mentality is designed to get you to follow the future that they project for you. So back to the dream and everything. It's about, so what we would have to do as people to kind of take back our system, or our power in a sense, because the illusion has installed this illusory power. So for us to get our power back, we have to develop these systems that are more community based, that are at least working towards kind of like a fail-safe version of change for the better. And one idea that I got from this dream when I woke up, because I was thinking like, hey, that's actually kind of like a good idea, because we have community colleges everywhere, and they really cover a good portion of the entire nation. Like every single, that's why it's a community college, because it's based upon the community. I haven't seen a map or anything, or I haven't looked at a map or anything, but I'm pretty sure that there are more people who are within some kind of driving distance of a community college than they are close to a university system. So this idea actually cuts out the university system, it cuts out the political scene, it cuts out the government completely, it cuts out everything, and it puts everything back into the community. And actually the communities can be however diverse as they want. They can do the same things as other communities, or they can do their own thing. And pretty much what it is so So that's one way to take it back from the government, to take back your power from the government. And these politicians, these people, when they're telling you to vote for every 2 years, that's to make you believe in the 4-year system. And the 4-year system exists to make you believe in the 8-year system. So this is how the mind control program of the government works. And these politicians have to be removed from the equation, period. And you don't have to like physically or literally remove them. You just have to develop a system that works so much better than, or at least opens the door of thinking to something that works so much better than the system that was put in place. And it doesn't have to be required or anything. It's based upon the level of engagement that the community wants to do. And like I said, it's not controlled by any one system. Each community is going to be different. So like one community college, like they have all of these little smaller college, like for example, like in the Bay Area or in Oakland, you have the Peralta system, and all this stuff can be removed because Peralta was a fucking piece of shit. But you, for example purposes, to keep it in the community, Peralta colleges is built up of something like 5 or 6 colleges or something around the Bay Area. It's like Ohlone, Alameda, Chabot, Berkeley, Merritt, Contra Costa. I don't know if those are all Peralta colleges, but you see where I'm coming from. Those are like 5 colleges that span from like a 40-mile radius or a 40-mile, maybe like a 20-mile radius from Oakland outwards. South, east, northwest. You got Diablo Valley College. These are all like community colleges in and around Oakland. So for example purposes, each of these colleges can have their own system of like satellites, basically. So people who live close to there can go to these locations to talk about stuff. Or so I had it really focused in. I'll get into it in a second, but I just wanted to finish this thought because this is kind of confusing me at this, or not confusing me, but distracted me at the same time. But I wanted to roll this at the same time so you can see how garbage this is. This is just nonsense. This is nothing to do with with humanity at all. This is a pure distraction. It's garbage. But this is normal. This is the mainstream. This is your government. This is your university system. This is your so-called intellectual world. This is everything. This is a combination of the local news, the mainstream news, your government, your politics, your university system, all your smart stuff, your Discovery Channel, your NASA, everything. This is a perfect example of the mainstream mind control program. Athletics, these celebrities, these athletes, all of them, they are paid millions of dollars to keep their mouths shut. They don't give a shit about you. Stop listening to them. So yeah, the origins of that system that's going on today is in the history books. If you just look, you can see the colonial system and where it came from, what happened to it, what its intention was. You can go into the supremacy program, you can go into the globe model, you can go into eugenics, you can go into the fake evolution theory, you can go into the fake laws of relativity and gravity, and you can go into the globe model, CERN programming, the transhumanism agenda, the gay agenda, the alien agenda. You can go into all of these systems that are designed to control you on some kind of level, and to maintain the haves and the have-nots, and to maintain a system that calls itself intelligence and the peak of human evolution, but at its essence, when you really trace it back, has zero interest in your well-being. So every piece of intellect that the politics and government and the military industrial complex and the prison industrial complex puts out there that says it's for you when they say they're bombing people for your freedom. The Constitution, the way they treated people, calling them slaves, 3/5 of a human, not even human beings. When you realize the origins of this system, the foundation that backs up the government itself is the so-called intellect, the peak of human evolution, which is the university system as it is today. That actually celebrates the separation from spirit. It's inherently atheist. When you hear all these professors talking about this, they have completely severed their connection to nature. This is why everything is so destructive. Completely severed themselves from spirit, severed themselves from alchemy, and made it popular with the mainstream and all that garbage that I was just showing, to have you believing in the system as they created it. So when you trace it back to its origins and see where it came from and what it's done, then you can see that this system has never had any concern for you. And the only concern that you think that it has for you is because you believe it to be real, because they lighten it up with YouTube, with the news, with the newscasters, with your professors, with the education system, with the government, with your politicians. They lighten it up. So anyway, zero concern from you. Here's another example with Standing Rock. It's never going to get better. It's only going to get worse for the many and better for the few. That's the only way they can maintain the haves and the have-nots. And since it's only getting worse because people are now informed more, they have more information available to them, so they can see how destructive the system is. So in order to maintain that system to stay afloat, they have to install more distractions. Donald Trump is obviously a distraction. All your football, all your gladiator arena sports, all your politicians, all of these are distractions. Your NASA programming, everything is a distraction to make you believe in the system. They don't care about you. So even when we're asking, like the sheriff's department or the national, like all these agencies don't care about you. I'm not saying don't do this stuff, because this is part of the disassembly process. But what I'm saying is that we can't lose track of our maximum potential, and we won't see our maximum potential if we don't push our imaginations and our intuitions into realizing that this system really doesn't care about us, and it's really our responsibility to do something about that and start creating ideas to do something. So when you see that they're using tear gas and rubber bullets, flashbang grenades, fire hose, like this happened in 2011 to me personally. I can say this personally, this happened in downtown Oakland during the Occupy Oakland time frame, when we posted tents and created a little community on the front lawn of the city hall in Oakland, and Mayor Kwan shut it down because we were feeding homeless people. We were providing shelter for people. There was a library, there was a power station, there was even a daycare there. And this was all because the people of the Oakland community came down and took care of each other. Excuse me. So this system this is why I was like, at that time frame 7 years ago, this is why I realized this system doesn't care at all. It only cares about itself. So, and this is just another example of it. It'll just keep expanding itself more and more and more. So even all these programs that are out there, like Anonymous and TYT and all these people out there, are information streams that are putting information out there. WikiLeaks, Julian Assange, Snowden. They're still powerless in that they're still focused only on fighting the system. It's a different, completely polarized energy when you realize that you have to empower yourself to generate another system within the people instead of fighting the people. That's a whole nother, or fighting the system, that's a whole nother energy. So that system that Snowden and WikiLeaks, not, like I said, it's not saying that it shouldn't exist. I'm saying that we have to simultaneously empower ourselves, because if you spend all of your energy fighting and none of your energy creating, then you're gonna fall into another trap that the people who have designed that fight, that ring for you to fight in, you'll fall into the next fight. So this is just another proof of why these systems don't care about you. So taking it back to the community, it all really comes back to the community. And like I said, this takes this whole idea of government out of the system and politics out of the system and time really out of the system, because my idea is to really have an ongoing thing. So this is so you can realize they have like these voting things every 2 years and 4 years and whatever it is, and they're all controlled, they're all manipulated. All those computers, all those elections, they're all funneled through the system itself. That has to be removed. So the idea that I was thinking about after that dream was, and people can add on to this or whatever it is, but this is just one idea, is to take back or control of, or start to focus energy into the community colleges and cut the legs out of the university completely and start to focus the energy in providing a free education, a true education, information sharing, make available whatever the community wants to learn in the community colleges. It'll be free, have nothing to do with money. And then I don't know, this is just like, I'm just spitballing like dreams here, and then we piece it together, because you have to jump to your imagination and then walk back to how to make that real and then expand upon it as you walk. So this is like my maximum dream space from this moment, and it's obviously going to change as we go and as people add input, but it felt like a good thing that I would like to share with people. And like I said, I don't really share a lot of things in this, because I'm constantly adding to it, but this seemed like something that I would share. So anyway, so you have, what it really boils down to is to take your time back, take the system back from the so-called powers that be, remove the cancer from the system, and get the actual essence, that savoriness, which is the people and their imagination. So give the people, like, if they want to be artists, if they want to write, if they want to make films, if they want to make music, if they want to learn how to garden, and still at the same time make the resources available too. So teach people how to garden, teach people how to get the water, and build like sustainable houses. I don't like using that word, but houses that provide, homes that provide for the people and do not destroy nature. See, this shit is, these apartments and these homes are designed to provide a profit. They don't care about nature, and they don't care about the people. They don't care about vibrations and frequencies. But there is a definite alchemy to creating a home that provides for you on every level: food, water, shelter, and community at the same time. So that's not hard to understand, and that could be maximized to the umpteenth degree if we just get together and start doing it. So that can be an entire learning process in like the communities. Like, some people would want to do that, and then some people would also want to garden and grow. Other people want to do stuff that's, anyway, you see where I'm going at. So basically the extents of your imagination are now funneled into like your community colleges, and you can start there and adjust it as it goes. So how this system would work as far as like voting, so like taking voting, and then working that into something that is, I don't know if it'll be completely fail safe, but it's working towards a reality like that. So specifically, you make the so-called voting process available throughout the year. It'll be an ongoing thing, and every year you have every single thing that people have developed available for discussion or engagement. And what you do, instead of having like the voting process today, is you have the combination of computers and kind of like how they have the password thing to make sure you're not a robot when you type in like the secret code that's all like squiggly lined. So what happens is you go in, so there's like for example, there's like a bill for cannabis in your community or whatever it is, and you want to vote on it, and it's an ongoing thing. It'll last a year, it'll last 6 months, it'll last whatever it is. It lasts forever long, and it can constantly be revised and come back on. This is how you take your time back, and this is how you get to actually evolve your community and your thought process and your system a lot faster than what the system is provided for you. So the system is provided for you, that 2-year, 4-year, 8-year mentality, in order to control you, to make you think that nothing else is better than this. This is the best system. But we just haven't really thought about something outside of that. So this is how I was thinking about it. So anyway, an ongoing system to where it's constantly fluid, and how you would maintain the community's engagement in the best, the highest common denominator within the community, is you have it available. People can educate themselves. You can have you can have videos, you can have every kind of education available for whatever this so-called bill is or whatever. We can change the words and all this stuff, but you have people go to the community college whenever they want, whenever they can, Sunday, Monday. And that's another thing. This is another thing that controls the whole old school voting process, is that this is why you only have less than like 50% of the people voting, if that's even real. It's probably even less than that. It's like less than like, because they control all those polls. That shit's all fake. Everything is all fake. So this is the only way you can have like real people engaging in your stuff, is if you make it on the community level, and don't allow the system to tell you what's what. So anyway, so you have the computer. You have people go to a community college on a Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, whatever, and you'll have volunteers that would want to just sit in this time for an hour, for whatever it is. And you would have any lines. So this is another that takes the discouragement out of the engaging in your system. So they can go there and throughout the year and get a number from like the computer. So that'll log it in a system in the computer base, and you get that number or that password or that like I'm not a robot code, and you go over to like a wall or something, or some kind of ledger or some kind of paper document or something, or whatever it is. And this could be something different, but it takes it you have at least two forms of, two locations of your engagement, and it's kind of fail-safe in that you get a code, a secret code. When you push a button on a computer, it gives you a code, and then you put that code on like a ledger or something, and then that ledger is maintained by the community. So you have the system that has one location of the voting thing, and then you have the actual papers that can be reviewed with the codes that can verify that that was the individual who is logged into the system. And then this can be revised. This is just like this can be evolved. This is just an idea that I thought was pretty good as far as like a starting point. So you have one system to make it easier with the computer base, like an Excel spreadsheet or something, and then you can have like it on paper, and they can verify it with that code. So you have two systems there, and that can be for anything, any kind of so-called bill or legislation that needs that people want to bring up and present to the community. And like I said, this will be an ongoing thing. It'll be throughout the year, so people can go there any day off that they have at any time, and this will be constantly growing. It won't be spread out to like 6 months. They can even have windows of growing a bill, so you can start a bill in like, or you can start whatever it is the word for a bill is. I'm just using the bill as a reference point. So you can start a bill at like 2 months and then have it grow to like 4-6 months and then a year, and then continually grow it until it gets like tuned in to its maximum state, and then engage it based upon the number of people who have signed off on it. And then it can always be up for review, being that you will always have an ongoing voting process throughout the year on anything, on all kinds of things, where you want to put a garden or a playground, or removing this old building that's just a cancer to the people, or like putting up a free garden somewhere over here, and then like it'll just be signed off immediately, it'll be activated immediately, and it'll be available to everybody through like this system. Anyway, that's pretty much the idea that I had from this dream, and kind of like some starting points and reference points to activate it. And obviously it has an educational quality to it at the same time, being that it's within the community college system too. So you wouldn't even really need the public education system. So this could actually remove the public education system, because most people know, the majority of people know, that that's an indoctrination system. So this can get the kids actually back into into their parents' care, into their homes, into their relationships with their family, and they can learn from home. They can actually learn their culture and their own harmonics, their dances from their family, from the time that's stolen through public education. And if they're ready, if they want to, then they can go to the community college and learn whatever they want. And then at that time, the adults and even the kids can engage in that rolling system, and engage in it, in anything that's going on in the community. And it won't be run by any government or politicians or anything. It'll just be, you'll just have a very limited support group that would just maintain like the volunteers from the community to maintain the numbers, the papers, and all that stuff, and maintain the buildings and all that. And people will want to volunteer for that if their basic human needs are provided from their own community. Like, you're providing your own organic food in your own community, and you actually engaged in it. So and every community can be different. That's what I was saying before. You can engage, you can combine with you can work with other communities, and you can pass bills with other communities that won't want, and then you see what I'm talking about already. But this is pretty much what I had. So hopefully this video is still kind of short. I lost track of time, but that's basically it. So please share this video if you liked it, or if you think it would, spark some sort of imagination sales in other people or something like that, or whatever. Yeah, so thank you for joining me, and if you have some comments to add or anything, please leave them in the comment section. So yeah, thank you for joining me, and until next time, from all my relations, peace, love, and harmony.